Introducing at stud, Geordie Parker, Greyhound Data's #1 rated son of Bred Lee. A May 2004 whelp, Geordie Parker comes from the finest of greyhound stock by champion sire Bred Lee out of that most prolific and successful dam, Belle Vue. In a career spanning 4 seasons, Geordie Parker raced 52 times, winning on 31 occasions, a hugely impressive strike rate. Major competition successes included the East Anglian Derby at Yarmouth and the All England Cup at Newcastle. Track records were also broken at Belle Vue and Yarmouth, underlining the dog's ferocious speed. Geordie Parker was bred at the Morpeth, Northumberland kennels of Jimmy Fenwick. He is part owned by Jimmy and the man who has travelled the length and breadth of the country supporting his great champion, Scott Fraser.
Scott, when did you first get involved with Geordie Parker?
Around about 15 months old, I met Jimmy at a little pub not so far from here, and we were having a bite to eat and a few beers, just talking over different dogs, and he mentioned that he had a real promising pup and he might be interested in selling him. And to cut a long story short, I didn't have enough to buy the whole dog, but was keen to be involved, so we shook hands on a deal for me to take half the dog, and just before his first race at Newcastle. And then the rest is history, as they say.
I suppose you've heard that story before. I've got a really fast pup for you. What was it that actually tempted you in here?
I have heard it before, and I've heard it since as well, and no doubt I'll hear it again. But I don't know, just sometimes you get a feel and you just think, this is the right thing to do. And to be fair to Jimmy, I trust his judgment. I think he's an expert when it comes to breeding, and I could see that he was excited with his pup. And Bred Lee, very well bred. The dam had thrown good pups before, and I just felt it was the right thing to do. So delighted I did it, obviously.
I would say Geordie Parker is the best dog I've ever bred, and he's definitely the best greyhound that I've ever trained. He was was his early pace for me. The boxes opened and he was out and he was gone.
Bred Lee's reputation as a great sire is well known. Now Jimmy Fenwick casts his eye over the impressive dam line.
Belle Vue's dam line is Lemon Miss, and Lemon Miss has been one of the greatest dams in Ireland. It's produced obviously Laurels winners, major stake winners and Derby finalists, so it was a good cross.
And that combination obviously produced dividends.
It did, and big time dividends as well. When you're breeding greyhounds, you always want to breed a Group 1 winner or a dog that can compete in the Derby, and that's what had happened with the meeting between Bred Lee and Belle Vue.
The May 04 batch by Bred Lee and Belle Vue was a good one. In addition to Geordie Parker, the litter included Skywalker Duke, a brilliantly fast winner of the prestigious Guinness Trophy at Cork. The dam being a litter sister of the excellent Toblerone Boy, perhaps that is no surprise. Geordie Parker began his career trained by his breeder Jimmy Fenwick at their home track Newcastle. After trials, he made his debut at Newcastle on September the 1st, 2005. With precocious but brilliant early pace, he raced to top grade quickly, gained open race experience at Sunderland before taking on the country's leading puppies in the Midland Puppy Derby at Monmore. With the classics on the horizon, the decision was taken to send Geordie Parker to champion trainer Charlie Lister. And while an early setback denied him a Derby campaign, big race glory with Lister would not be long in coming. Geordie Parker returned after a spring break to win at Hall Green and then Belle Vue in a track record time during an unbeaten run through to the Northern Flat final. Geordie Parker would now line up as one of the favourites for the East Anglian Derby at Yarmouth. His pace derived from Bred Lee was never in question, and he was also now proving his stamina.
He steered the trip very well. He got the 480 at Brough Park, which is a very, very stiff 480 metres, So, even at Belle Vue, which is 470, he got it well, and he broke the track record there, so obviously he got it really well.
He had a heart the size of a lion. He did have brute early pace, but if something did manage to get in front of him, he would burst a gut to get back in front. And he was a genuine race dog. He knew when he was going to the races. He knew what he was expected to do, and he knew when he had won as well. He was a different dog after he'd won a race, and on the odd occasion he did get beat. He knew when he'd been beaten as well.
So to Yarmouth, and he wouldn't taste defeat in a relentless run through to the East Anglian Derby final.
When he got to Yarmouth, he was almost unbeatable, I would have said, in that competition. He just did everything right, straight through, and it was during a run of, I think there was about 5 months where he had 20 runs and he won 17 of them, and he was just about unbeatable, in this country anyway, during that period.
As they race round the third bend, Geordie Parker, who's made all so far, still with this length lead over Coolside Lucky in second. They come round the final bend, and it's been a trap-to-line success here. Plenty of early pace from Geordie Parker.
Given his scintillating run of form, Geordie Parker lined up for the final warm order. The Yarmouth crowd had taken him to their hearts, and he let no one down. Keep your eyes on trap 5.
And away they go for the East Anglian Derby final, and away quick is Geordie Parker. This has got some early pace. He's leading into the first bend here from Coolside Lucky, who gave it a nudge, but Geordie Parker would not be denied. Geordie Parker goes down the far side, has a 3-length lead here over Coolside Lucky back in second, but it's been supreme so far. This is Geordie Parker's going to lift another big race here as they spin off the final bend out wide. Geordie Parker will win, and win so easily in the end.
Geordie Parker was to make another big race final in the valuable Masters at Reading, where he started favourite, before the return of the prodigal son was set in motion, as Geordie Parker, after a short break following Reading, now headed home to Newcastle and the All England Cup. He was on a winning sequence now, and trap-to-line victories followed in a trial stakes and all rounds of the All England Cup. He now lined up as one of the shortest priced favourites in the event's history. But in what was a seminal performance, Geordie Parker proved beyond any doubt his incredible will to win.
Well, that's it, away we go, and 4 does get away decently here. Geordie Parker has the advantage on the run to the turn 6. Droopy's Toby's right there as well. As they go round the first bend though, Geordie Parker maintains the gallop and goes on. He's about half a length up from 6 Droopy's Toby, who's running a big back straight. 5 GV is in third for David Mullins. As they head round to the final turn, 4 being pressed on the outside by 6. Droopy's Toby, who's running a storming back straight. Geordie Parker though digging deep. It's going to be head down to the wire, and Geordie Parker gets it.
For owners Jimmy Fenwick and Scott Fraser, that All England Cup triumph will always live in the memory.
I remember vividly sitting in that, or standing by that time in the restaurant, and you could see probably 5 or 6 strides for the line that he was getting back up, and he got up and he won, I think, about a neck at the death, and it was like scoring the winning goal in a cup final. Jimmy and I were screaming and hugging, and that was a fantastic race, because it did show everything that was good about the dog, you know.
Geordie Parker would now enjoy a winter's rest, but his trainer Charlie Lister's huge faith in him was underlined now. He took the decision to return him to the fray as part of the champion trainers team in the Trainers' Championship meeting the following March.
The favourite in trap 5, Geordie Parker. Here comes the hare. And they're off and racing out towards the first bend. A good break here from 4 Blonde Zach. Here comes Geordie Parker pacing up with 3 Legal Major. Around the turn, Geordie Parker gets round in front. There's trouble in behind, and his trap 2 goes off in chase. Lady Sky heading down the far side. 4 lengths clear. Geordie Parker leading from Lady Sky in second. After these comes 1 Firamani as they go round the 3rd and 4th turns. It's trap 5. Geordie Parker some 3.5 lengths clear from Lady Sky, putting in a big race here. But Geordie Parker will win.
A follow-up win back at Hall Green in a supporting open to the Prestige came next, and victory on Sky again raised his profile still further, and it was just as emphatic.
And away we go, and Geordie Parker is away and leads up here by about a length of the winning line. Goes across towards the bend and leads round that first turn. Up into second place goes 6 Fear Daniel, then comes 1 Snazzy Rover. The strong runners, Coventry Bees and Raging Jack, there towards the rear, along with Lodgeview Pete. So it's Geordie Parker's race surely from here. Some 3 lengths clear here from 6 Fear Daniel in second. After these comes 1 Snazzy Rover as they come up the home straight. It's Geordie Parker by 3 lengths. Geordie Parker wins by 4 lengths.
The Derby was targeted again, but an early setback hindered his progress. But in what was a case of what might have been, with better fortune, Geordie Parker blitzed round the classic trip in the Derby Plate.
And away they go. Oh, what a start. Geordie Parker out in front, showing great early pace. Even the early dash of Ivory Leo can't lie with Geordie Parker. Pilot Pretenders in four as they head down the far side. It's Geordie Parker looking so good in front, leading here by a length and a half. Ivory Leo chasing its tail. They go round the third bend. Geordie Parker finding more. A gritty performer still leads here by a length over Ivory Leo. They won't catch Geordie Parker. Geordie Parker wins emphatically.
Wins followed at Coventry and Happy Hunting Ground, Yarmouth, where on September the 12th, 2007, the now 3.5-year-old Geordie Parker rewrote the record books as he set a new track record in the second round of the East Anglian Derby, a title he was bidding to defend. A trouble-marred run in the semi-finals prevented a title defence at Yarmouth, and then a second bid for All England Cup glory. But Geordie Parker's reputation as one of the finest dogs of his generation was intact. He was retired for the first time, enjoying home comforts and the fruits of his labour at stud. But there was still time for the fairy tale. Over a year later, and after a long layoff, Geordie Parker underlined his durability with a glorious comeback success in a sprint open race at Newcastle. Incredibly, at 4.5 years old, he was able to give the track record a shake, clocking the fastest time of the year. It capped a quite outstanding career and a successful time at stud to come.
Brett Lee has thrown a few good dogs. I think there's, in my opinion, there's only really a handful of them that could compare to Brett Lee himself. I would say Razzle Dazzle Billy and Geordie Parker over here being the main two. We were fortunate enough to get a few litters on the ground about a year or so ago, and the pups are just about ready to hit the schooling track. We've got a litter here at Jimmy's out of Centaur Trooper who look fantastic. Charlie Lister used Parker a year or so ago on one of his own brood bitches, and I spoke to Charlie a couple of weeks ago. He's very pleased with the two dogs that he's got at Mudross Kennels, and I remember asking Charlie at the time when he approached us to use Parker on his own bitch, and I asked why Parker, because Charlie could choose any stud dog, proven or otherwise, and Parker was completely unproven. And Charlie said to me, he does everything right. Everyone knows how good a race dog he is, but he kennels well, he travels well, he eats well, his temperament's right, and that to Charlie meant a lot. And you know, if it's good enough for Charlie Lister, it's good enough for me, that's for sure. So yeah, we're hopeful that he will be a very good stud dog.
Geordie Parker's Brett Lee's really best rated son. You know, he's Brett Lee, and I've seen Brett Lee videos, and I was blown away with the dog, and I was one of the first breeders to buy his frozen semen and brought it to England, and I'm glad I did, because as I say, Brett Lee, he was probably the best dog in Australia I've ever seen, and with the race record he had, mirrors Geordie Parker.
I count myself as being very fortunate to be still involved with some good dogs, but I can honestly say any time Parker stood on the track, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, because you just knew he was extra special, and the excitement and the exhilaration of watching him race is something that I hope I'll get again, but I have to say I have my doubts, you know, but he's a fantastic race dog.
Geordie Parker, Greyhound Data's #1 rated son of Brett Lee, is now available to you at stud.